that she refused to go back. I mean, I invited her several times. Nanny, come. I used to call her Nanny. Nanny, come to Puerto Rico. I'll put you up at the Ritz. It'll be great. People are like, that looks like the lady from The View.
Right.
But if we're together, they know,
of course,
that we are there. And so we took about 50 selfies at intermission.
What happens when a respected doctor's life unravels into a whirlwind of accusations, secret deals, and shattered trust? That's exactly the storm brewing around Dr. Emanuel, a celebrated orthopedic surgeon and husband to outspoken TV personality Sunny Hostin. Whispers of a massive fraud case and hush-hush negotiations with federal agents have pushed both their reputations to the edge. The stakes, the potential collapse of not only their wealth, but the public persona they've cultivated for years. But this story doesn't end with the doctor. Rumors suggest Sunny's involvement, however indirect, may be more than a mere sideshow. The glitz of her on-camera confidence might be masking a terrifying new reality behind the scenes. Get comfortable, because we're diving deep into a scandal that seems to grow darker at every turn. And here's the real shocker. The deeper we go, the more questions arise about Sunny's knowledge of her husband's alleged crimes. Ready to see how this could spell the end for one of daytime TV's most polarizing figures? Let's begin. Long before the scandal, Dr. Emanuel thrived as a sought-after orthopedic specialist. People entrusted him to fix sports injuries and serious joint problems. At social events, guests buzzed about the miracle worker who mended broken limbs with ease. For years he seemed untouchable, until a seismic lawsuit landed in the courts. At the center of this legal storm are allegations of large-scale insurance fraud. Authorities claim Emanuel participated in a network of medical professionals who submitted inflated bills for procedures, sometimes performing unnecessary surgeries just to rake in bigger payouts.
All of those trials and tribulations. And so I tried to find that balance, because we live these robust lives. Women are really complicated. And I think I found that balance, and I struck that balance. And I just wanted to make sure that I showed how, what complexities and complex creatures we are as women. You can't write a book about women if you don't write about our complexities.
The lawsuit is drenched in staggering numbers, hundreds of millions in potential damages under RICO, a statute usually reserved for organized crime. From the outside, it's almost incomprehensible. How did a man revered for saving patients end up on the front lines of such a colossal scandal? His legal team fiercely denies the accusations, branding them a scattershot attack. But with a case spanning hundreds of pages, even denial starts to feel hollow to those watching from the sidelines. Yet the real twist might be lurking elsewhere, because rumor has it the good doctor isn't going down alone. Stay tuned for the next section, where we'll explore chilling whispers about an FBI deal that could devastate more than just his career. Behind the scenes, insiders are murmuring that Dr. Emanuel has reached a point of no return. The legal stakes are too high, and the looming possibility of a catastrophic verdict weighs heavily. In response, whispers say he's been quietly meeting with federal agents, possibly conceding to certain demands in exchange for leniency. What's on the table? One version of events suggests he's prepared to surrender a significant chunk of assets to the government. If the lawsuit's triple damages under RICO are anything to go by, the numbers tossed around are astronomical. Some say $500 million could be at play. While specifics remain concealed, it's clear Emanuel sees no easy path forward without cooperation. In normal circumstances, spouses can't be forced to testify directly against each other. But there's a catch. Indirect evidence often speaks volumes. Rumor has it the details he's providing might cast doubt on Sunny's role, potentially implicating her through documents, financial transactions, and behind-the-scenes discussions. Whether it's real or just another layer of speculation is still anyone's guess. And just when you think you've heard the worst, the situation grows more complicated if Sunny herself had any inkling of what was going on.
He taught me, all the mathematical tables, and by the time I got into third grade, the teacher said, she's just passed all the standardized tests up to 12th grade. We've got to move her out. So I moved. They found a place for me in Manhattan.
Let's see how her reputation as a tenacious legal mind squares with these troubling allegations in our next section. Sunny Hostin built her brand on sharp legal analysis and unwavering moral stances. As a co-host on The View, she doesn't just share opinions, she often positions herself as an authoritative voice on justice and accountability. Now, however, the script is flipped. Instead of dissecting high-profile cases, she's potentially staring down her own. In public statements, Sunny denies denounces the fraud allegations against her husband as baseless. She calls them desperate ploys by insurance companies and hints at countersuing for defamation. But behind that confident exterior, rumors paint a different picture. One of a woman grappling with the very real possibility that her spouse may have operated a shadowy scheme, one she may have, at minimum, partially understood. The swirling speculation questions whether Sunny's robust denials are genuine or just a shield to protect her media image. After all, if Emanuel is cutting deals, what might he already have revealed about money movements or hush-hush partnerships? Could Sunny's name appear anywhere in those suspicious transactions? Before you jump to conclusions, let's uncover the emotional quake shaking this power couple's personal life. Next, we dive into the rumors that their marriage is riddled with trust issues and hidden heartbreak. Love, support, and partnership are what many expect from a marriage, especially one that's lasted nearly 2 decades. But according to insiders, the relationship between Sunny and Emanuel has been spiraling since this legal nightmare began. He's allegedly furious with her for prioritizing her public persona over his defense. She, in turn, is rumored to be keeping him at arm's length, focusing on the view while fighting back in the court of public opinion.
That she refused to go back. I mean, I invited her several times. You know, Nanny, come. I used to call her Nanny. Nanny, come to Puerto Rico. You know, I'll put you up at the Ritz. It'll be great. No desire.
Yeah.
Zero. And no desire to talk about her time there, really, either.
Well, all of this loss occurred before the age of 12.
Yeah, I can't imagine it, actually. I can't imagine that.
Some go as far as to claim Sunny's distanced herself emotionally, with whispers of a new romantic interest simmering beneath the surface. It's all hearsay at this point, but it adds fuel to a fire that seems impossible to contain. The conflict isn't just legal, it's deeply personal, wrapped up in feelings of betrayal and resentment. If Emanuel is cooperating with federal agents, personal animosity could be pushing him to share everything he knows. A spouse scorned, facing prison time, and possible financial ruin might believe cutting a deal with authorities is the only logical step, and if that means exposing details that drag Sunny further into the mire, so be it. But that's only part of the story. The lawsuit itself is enormous and threatens to swallow them both, financially and reputationally. Up next, we'll break down the eye-popping scale of the legal assault. Mentioning RICO often conjures images of notorious crime families, not suburban doctors and talk show personalities. Yet here we are. The lawsuit that ensnared Emanuel is more than just a stack of papers. Some say it's one of the largest cases of its kind in New York's recent history. Authorities claim Emanuel and a network of associates performed needless surgeries on unwitting patients, bilked no-fault insurance programs for sky-high reimbursements, and spread the spoils across shell companies. If these allegations hold up, the couple could face not just triple damages, but also a permanent stain on both their names. Imagine going from gated luxury to near bankruptcy overnight, all while cameras and headlines track your every move. Yet, as the complaint grows in detail and weight, Sunny's rhetorical counterattacks grow in volume. She calls the accusations desperate measures by an insurance industry on shaky ground. But behind that fierce defense, the data piles up. X-rays, billing records, patient testimonies. Real or contrived, it's a monstrous legal wave ready to crash over both of them.
I was reluctant to share it, actually.
Why?
I will tell you. Because I knew that it would get pickup. I knew that it would be Sunny Hostin from The View. And
So what?
I know.
But this happened to you. You weren't lying.
It happened, but I will tell you, right after it happened, I went over to Joy Behar's house. And she said, "What's wrong with you? You're not your usual self." And I told her, and she said, "We're talking about this on the show."
What's more unbelievable is this scandal isn't Sunny's only battle. In the next section, we reveal how she's become a magnet for even more lawsuits, with huge names like Fetterman and Melania Trump allegedly lining up. While Emanuel fights for his medical career, Sunny has her own legal tempest. Word on the street is that Senator John Fetterman filed a defamation suit against her, claiming she crossed a line with scorching on-air comments. She's also rumored to be on the receiving end of another high-profile legal strike from none other than Melania Trump, who reportedly took offense at remarks Sunny made about her private life. If even a fraction of this is true, the talk show host could be drowning in lawsuits that stretch from state courts to federal filings. The very platform that made her a household household name. Speaking her mind on national television now leaves her open to allegations of slander and defamation. Sure, free speech is a protected right, but influential figures like Fetterman and Melania have the resources to push a case to its limit. For ABC, this is a nightmare scenario. Multiple lawsuits mean possible reputational damage for The View, plus rising legal fees that might overshadow any rating spike. Network executives may decide enough is enough, potentially curbing the host's freedom to speak candidly. That sort of muzzle could fundamentally change the show's DNA, diminishing the outspoken style that draws millions of viewers. But how do fans react when their favorite host is engulfed in scandal? Let's step into the public sphere next, where reactions to Sunny's predicament range from unwavering support to unabashed glee at her downfall. Opinions about Sunny have always been split. Some see her as a fearless champion of justice. Others view her as an out-of-control mouthpiece for controversial takes. Now that she's potentially at the center of multiple lawsuits, those divisions are growing sharper. Online forums explode with conspiracy theories, while fans flood social media in her defense. Meanwhile, mainstream outlets are salivating for the next reveal. Every statement Sunny makes, whether it's on The View or in a rushed press interview, sparks a new round of speculation.
You really did. And you were like, I heard you coming on the show. And I was like, yeah, I'm joining the show. She was like, did they give you car stipend? I was like, no. Did they give you this? I was like, no. I was like, let me get my deal sheet out. And you basically went over your salary for the entire time you were there. And you also gave me Jenny McCarthy's salary.
Is she hiding something? Could this finally topple her from daytime television's upper echelon? Each question spawns a dozen more. What about her co-hosts? They've mostly stayed tight-lipped, probably on orders from network lawyers, but it's impossible to ignore the tension that must be simmering behind the scenes. After all, any public misstep could add fuel to the defamation fire, or undermine Sunny's already shaky standing. As the dust continues to swirl, one final question remains. Can Sunny weather this storm and come out with her public image intact, or is her entire legacy on the verge of implosion? In our conclusion, we'll dig into that uncertain future and the final reckoning that may be at hand. From a once celebrated surgeon accused of bilking millions to a vocal TV host juggling legal battles on every front, this saga teeters on the brink of catastrophe. Emanuel's alleged FBI cooperation could deliver a crippling blow, not just to their finances, but to Sunny's public integrity. If the lawsuit's explosive claims prove true, the consequences could be devastating. A shattered marriage, financial ruin, and the end of a television career built on outspoken moral judgments. Yet it's possible the accusations are amplified by rumor, or that legal complexities give them more drama than substance. Ultimately, only time will unravel the truth behind these swirling scandals. Does Sunny stand as a victim of malicious gossip and corporate greed, or has she played a far bigger part in her husband's alleged misdeeds than she's willing to admit? As the court proceedings inch forward and new rumors take shape, one thing is certain: the final chapter of this story has yet to be written. Where do you land in this swirling debate? Is Sunny fighting a noble battle against a flawed system, or did she help construct the house of cards now tumbling around her? Share your take and keep watching as more details come to light in this increasingly tangled web.